Good evening. Uh, Sorry I haven't been around much. Uh, I don't know. Been going through some stuff. Uh, I guess I'll tell you a little bit about me. Uh, I'm the Divine High Priestess. I am also an anointed uh, warrior of God. Uh, God woke me up one night and came into my home, and I was sleeping. He called me, and he told me he wanted me to go on a journey with him. I didn't know what that meant at the time. Anyway, it meant a lot more than I thought it did. That's for sure. Uh, uh, so I've been on that journey for about 7 years now. Uh, First, I had to go through getting ready to get ready, and that spent a lot of time alone. Then he gave me a mission, and what he wanted to do, well, I knew of a girl who was a friend of mine, and she turned about not to be such a good friend after all, and very, very cunning. Somehow she pulled in friends, family, and everything else to come against me. And gee, I wish that she wouldn't have, because I don't like where this all went. But you better believe it went somewhere, and it's not going to be good to them. And I wouldn't wish that. I just wouldn't wish that on anyone, you know. You know what I mean? So, in the end, these people all came against me. And it was really over greed, just to steal an inheritance, steal a home, steal a car. And they had their fun, you know, and that's too bad. Uh, but what I had to do, and what they should have done, was do the work to try to be the best that they could be in their lifetime, you know. And for what they're gonna have to pay for what they did is not worth what they should have just done. What God was asking. Now, I've learned a lot of things over this time. I mean, a lot of my beliefs that I had prior to this meeting with God have changed. I mean, I never believed that reincarnation was a possibility. And I was pretty harsh about that. I mean, I was like, no way, you know. But I'm going to say some things, and some people are going to say I'm crazy. I don't care. But believe this, what I say is true, and what I say, I'm not lying about. You see, we come into this life. I mean, we're born into it. We're babies, you know. But prior to that, we're in another realm, you know. And we make a understanding with God that this is what we will accomplish while we're here, and that's all of us have gone as long as we come from that end of it, we made a deal. Yeah, I'll go down there and I'll do this, and we sign up for what we're going to do. And I guess I signed up for a pretty hard life. I mean, a lot of things had to be done, but I think you get all those crowns in heaven for that. And I was already pretty high up in heaven. I know that. I know, in fact, that up there I'm a teacher. Down here, I couldn't have started lower, I was raised by a mother who really would have felt better if she'd never had me, and a father who certainly didn't like me. He made that very plain. And by the time I was 10 years old, I was in a very abusive situation. It was abusive prior to that, but it got worse. It took one of the other kids to be abused by him in another way to leave that situation. And whether she wants to say so or not, she was just as much a party to all of it as he was. So most of us didn't really get a fair break, but some of us were treated a heck of a lot better than the others. In the end, I was the black sheep, so I bore the brunt of it. Now, I didn't like to talk about it, but I mean, I went hungry. Lived on the street. It was a bad childhood. It was a childhood where I didn't really get to be a child. It was like go work, go to school, go work. I never had enough. Never had enough. Those people who know me would know that's true. I went into the Marine Corps when I was 17 years old, right when I turned, just to get out of there, get a better shot at life, It was by then, I always knew that I had some kind of talents, and I could do a lot, but not in that situation. I couldn't do that much. But parents know this: the way you treat your children and how much you support those children is going to give how much and how far they're going to go in life. Since the past 7 years, I've had bouts of depression. I've had to kind of rearrange who I am, because I've suffered injustice like you wouldn't believe, and there wasn't nothing given for that. And since that, I've got a sister and a brother, and it may be two sisters. I'm not sure of that yet, but I know one sister and one brother, along with a friend who was a friend of mine and an ex-girlfriend, and people that are around them who have come against me. And it's just been one battle after another, and I really didn't battle it. God does the battling. Okay, I don't. My job is to try to get to people and let them know that there is a God, because for the most part, mankind has really fallen away worshiping God because we got into this rat race we call Earth. And, it really is, it's not the kind of place that we want to, that is conducive to knowing a God who loves us. But he does. He does. And he is. He is what he is. And he is God. The one true God. I mean, you've heard about, gods and goddesses and things like that, the Greeks and the Romans and all that. And those are real. Actually, those are real beings. They tell me I'm the last one. I don't know how that works. I'm ascending, and sometimes it's cut and miss. It's just hit and miss, on getting the lessons right. But I do believe that mankind is, I know that we're evolving. Our consciousness is evolving. We are destined for so much more, and it's because when he made us, see, the Bible is very basic in its teachings about all this, he made man and woman, and breathed life into them, and they were a living soul. Well, there's more to it than that, because really, we did come from apes, but we also shared DNA with something else. Maybe it was God's DNA. Maybe, who knows? It was something that probably took 300,000 years off of our development and jumped us forward. And we were intended for something. We were intended to be a being that was lesser than the angels, but we could aspire so much higher. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's sometime we'll get into that, and I'll try to teach you a lot of things. But I know that I was here during the dawn of man. I'm an ancient soul, and I've come back many times just to help get us up to this point. And this point is where our consciousness now will go into the 5D. It will answer a lot of questions about our origins and whatnot, and give us abilities that if we work with them, we will be a higher being than we have been. The world we live in is kind of like, there's an earth and we're on it, but our spirit kind of resides up in the ethers, which is the 5D, and things happen there, then they happen down here, it's kind of like, so you have a spirit, and most people don't even, really, they live life and they don't even recognize that. We come down here and we're born into this body. Our soul is placed in this body. And that dictates our personality and our spirit. Well, really, our spirit dictates it. But we go through life, and many, in my life, early on, I didn't know anything about that. I heard it before, but I didn't know anything about it. What's the difference between your personality and a soul? There is a difference. Uh, when we die, we don't die. We go on to a different place. I mean, we come down here to and this is kind of, I used to think, well, this is kind of a fun place to be, you know. I hate to say this, but I'm going to tell you the truth. Some sin is kind of fun, I mean, humanly speaking. But, the flesh and whatnot. But it's not helping our spirit. It really isn't. And God's trying to get us to come to the point where we realize this and we live right. Let me get rid of them. That's I'm old. Anyway, speaking. I'm going to answer a question because I'm completely honest with God. And I haven't been gotten off of see, I had my vices. Everybody says, well, he's an addict. Well, yeah, I was for a while, quite a while. And I still have my bouts with that, but I'm getting off of it. I'm getting away from that completely. But I struggle with it. But because I have this thing to do, and this thing to do is to bring God's children home. Because like I said, we've all fallen away from God. And forgot that there was a God. Well, I'm going to tell you now, I met him. I met the one who is, I met Jesus. I met God, his Father. In fact, it was one of the last things he told me. He said, stay close to my son. It's important, and so, and Jesus taught us a lot, to be kind and to be forgiving in our ways. And once in a while, some of us come and we show God that we're capable of doing those things. I've done it myself, and they came back and told me, listen, you did something today that made God just stop and he had to look and see what you made him happy. And I've done things like that, and all of us have. But not always. They're not always looking. But every once in a while, we do it, and not knowing that we were being watched. And it proves to God that, listen, we're worthy of a shot to live on. We're worthy of that. And I believe that mankind is very worthy of being what he intended for us to be, because he intended us to be something. He didn't just put us down here to have wars and do the crap that we do. He meant for us to aspire to be up there with him. I mean, these angels that fell during time when Satan was cast down, they're in trouble. I mean, they're going to cast in the lake of fire. And there are probably some humans that will get that too. I don't want to see anybody I know cast into that lake of fire, and I really don't. Because, boy, could you imagine? But there will be some. Me and my grandmother, in our family, in my lineage, my known lineage anyway, were the ones who actually believed a lot about God. And, of course, I was unknown. They didn't know that about me until probably they went up there and, they had to choose somebody to walk this path to be the curse breaker and whatnot. And that's a hard job, but, we're getting it done, and we've broken a lot of curses, and it stops with me. It stopped. Now we've got other people in this, members of this lineage who are out there constantly trying to put more curses upon us. And that if I were the people who are in my lineage, I'd be telling them to stop. Uh, Sherry and Craig and whoever that other person is with them, you need to stop. I like that song. Anyway, but we've all got that, and let me say to that ex, you have a job to do, dear, and it would be wise for you to find your way to me, so I can help you get there. Because really, your lineage is depending on you. They just don't know it. And your sister, who has stopped, I tried to call once. But of course, she wanted me to go through her, and that I wouldn't speak to you. I don't know what their problem with me is, but I really don't care, But I want to give you every opportunity to get the right thing done. So I'm where I'm at, and I bet you if you went and asked your Father in heaven, he'd get your way to find me and come and speak to me. Now, I don't know where that goes from there, but I do know this. I do know that you have a job to do, and you have little time to do it. So, and so like I said, I would help you get that done. I really don't want to see your lineage ended. Pretty important stuff, because in the end, it's kind of like, I mean, when you've got all these curses on your family lineage, when you get up there, you're kind of, even in heaven, you can't go anywhere. You're not free to do as you want. But we freed mine up. And there's celebrations in heaven for everyone who turns back to God. Believe me, they were up there celebrating, partying. So don't think that life is just boring and you just go to bed and sleep until time. No, they celebrate. They watch us. They guide us. See, these are things I didn't know anything about. And angels, thank you, and ancestors, thank you, and God, most definitely, thank you. Jesus, thank you for saving us all. You did a hard thing. I am like that second child of God, and I'm here to give you this knowledge, be so that that you would choose the right way to go, and you got people in your ancestors, and you got angels, and you got God who are going to help you walk that path. And everything you do has a bearing on your lineage. So if you're out there doing crappy things to your brothers and sisters, or your friends, or family, or you're doing putting curses upon your own family lineage. That's the way it is. I mean, everything that you do has got a bearing on that. Whether you like it or not, that's the truth. I'm not perfect, Do I get angry sometimes? You bet I do. I do. I cuss? Yeah, I do. Like a sailor. I smoke. But I'm keeping that down to cigarettes these days, Because I need to have what I've got, what God gave me to work with. And that, I guess that somehow takes away from that, so that's why I decided, well, I better just go on and do what God asked. And believe me, I thank God because He's given me a lot of grace. And knowing that how hard this situation is. And God's not sitting up there being mean to us, you know. Listen, He's a lot more forgiving than I am, honest. I mean, you know, there'll be times when I want to tell people that have done me wrong, just you know, I don't want to part of you. You know what I mean? But I see the way God does it, and I know He's more forgiving. He'll tell me, bring love into it. Bring love into it. Be forgiving. Try your best to forgive. And even though He even knows it, sometimes it's hard. I'm lucky. I clear that stuff out of my soul. You know, I'm trying to carry on. You know. So, you know, eventually, you know, it's a process, but I do forgive, you know, and let it go. And believe me, I've had a lot to forgive. I need to be forgiven, but, you know, because like I said, I'm not perfect. None of us are. And we all want to be forgiven when we get there, you know, because where do I go after this life? I don't know. I really don't know. Will I come back? I don't know. Will it be done? Will my job be done? I came here to wake up everybody. The 144,000. I'm one of you, and I'm here to wake you up and to say, hey, it's time. It's time for us to get ready to build this new earth and I'm a co-creator in that, you know. And the rules will be a little different, but know that we are past the point of we're beyond the point of just you know, we're saved, so let's go live anywhere we want. No, that was kind of like one of the first steps of getting back to the garden, you know. Okay, so we've got a Savior, Jesus, okay, and He saved us, and He's our true King. But there's more to it. I mean, we still have got to try to live the better way, the way that He was teaching us when He left. He taught us a lot about how we should be kind, be forgiving, and give. You know, what you can do to give. You know, to help those who are in need, and you know, look at the Good Samaritan. I mean, the Jews didn't like him. They didn't like the Samaritans, but here's a Samaritan knowing that he was hated by the Jews, but helped the Jewish man, you know, and they even left money to make sure that he got proper health and stuff. And he got nothing for that. He did, you know. I mean, I'm sure he didn't have it, but he did it without any thought of getting anything else from it. You know what I mean? Just to do the right thing, and that's what we are supposed to be. That's what God intended for us to be, and we are quite able to be that. Now, these elites who are out there all just caring about money, guys, I bring your remembrance to this story about how there was a man in the lake of fire, and Abraham was there. He wasn't in the lake of fire. He was just there looking over his kids and stuff. What he was doing, but there was a man, and he asked some man to just place some water on his tongue or something, and Abraham said no. This man got everything the worst of everything in his life. And now he's going to get the best of everything because it's his turn to do and how he lives. You know, he's earned that, and you earned where you're at. You had everything on earth, and you did nothing for anybody except for you were just awful, you know, basically. And now it's your turn to see what it's like to be in the worst of it. So, you know, so if you're one of those elites who just thinks that everything's about money and whatnot, and never doing any kind thing for anyone, and not being the right kind of person, that's what you're going to get. The first will become the last, and the last will become the first, you know? That's God's way. That's not my laws, it's God's laws. That's what he told me. I mean, I have always lived a pretty crummy life, really. I mean, you never get any real breaks. And he told me, you're meant for greatness. You know, you're bound for greatness. And I said, well, how's that? You know, he said, well, the last becomes first. But that's just the way it is. I mean, that's God's rule. I didn't make the rules. I just, you know, but I'm glad it's like that because, hey, now I get a shot, you know. And a lot of people out there are in the same spot as I am. And listen, God doesn't want you to do without it. He doesn't want you to go without and get the worst of it. And he is going to raise me up. And I'm asking everyone to see that there is a God and that you can do the same thing I'm doing. You can be that same person. Rise yourself up, you know. Ask God, you know, surrender your will. Surrender your will to God. You know, and you know, be of that. You know, be about that. You know, you know what I mean? Because if you are about that and you ask God for his help, listen, I'm telling you that I know for a fact. Hey, listen, I've talked a couple times on the and I'm not good at it. You know, I mean, I'm nobody. You know, I'm just a guy. You know what I mean? I'll tell you the truth about me. In heaven, I'm an angel. And I asked God about that. I said, is that true? He said, yes, it's true. He said, you're an angel on a human experience. That's what he told me. I said, okay. Do I have any of the angelic things? I've got the angels on my side. I've got my ancestors on my side. I've got God on my side. So I've got that. And if you got that, but you're in pretty good standing. You know. And I've got high honor because I kept my honor clean. That's the reason why I went in the Marines instead of anywhere else. Because the song says we kept our honor clean, and we do. We're about that, you know. And to my brothers in arms out there, Semper Fi, you know what I mean? And when we go to battle, we take God with us, you know. You can always see there's always prayer, yeah. And for that, we've done pretty well, you know. The Marine Corps is a good, outstanding bunch of guys, officers and enlisted. You're all just great, and they keep us secure. I'm not too keen on this Commander-in-Arms, Commander-in-Chief. keen on him. But and any of the Republicans out there who are keeping him doing whatever and not having the balls to stand up to him, because I will. Believe I will. That man is not doing anything good by God. Anyway, but that's political, and that really isn't why I'm here. But I just wanted to come on here and say, you do have a God, and He does actually care about you, and He does want to see us grow. He wants to see us be the best humans that we can be, and how do you do that? Well, that's kind of a long drawn process. It can be sometimes a lifetime thing, but what we have to do is we have to be forgiving. We have to be the best people we can be, and honor our mothers and our fathers, and if they're not being right, we still have to be right. We can't abide in the wrong ways to live. So I'm gonna end this here. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but thine is the kingdom and the glory and power forever. I think I got that all right. I don't know, maybe I didn't. But if I did, forgive me, Lord. And know this, that our adversary, who is Satan, and those who are his children, know that they're always looking for us and looking to take us down. So be aware, and but if you resist him, they'll flee. They don't want any part of us, because the light never gets beaten by the dark. Okay, and so if you see me online, talk to me, and I'll tell you all about it. I'll be doing giving you my whole story to how this all, the best I can, and tell the whole world that, because it's going to be proof that there's God. Trust me, it's proof. It's big proof. And when you hear it, you'll understand that God saved me for such a time as this. So, and it's all about bringing us all back to God, because although they say I'm the star, God's really the star. And if you read through the Bible, you'll understand that. All those people that went through all the stuff I went through, things like that, like Joseph and Noah and Moses, well, God used them to show mankind where we're at and where we're going. Okay? So, and if he says we can get there, believe me, he's going to help us get there. So, you want to be on the side of the light. You really do. Okay? And know that you're loved, and I love you with all the love of Christ. So, have a good evening. God bless you and your families. And good night.